Okay, so I'm recording this just for other folks. If they miss it, they can catch up on it. So as per usual, just a quick reminder, we do this Monday through Friday, every day at noon. Today's Thursday, so I like to think of this as Thankfulness or Gratitude Thursdays. So today's exercise will be about gratitude. So it'll be helpful for you to have something to write. It won't be quite a formal journaling exercise, but you'll want to be able to jot down a couple of things. So go ahead and grab that now if you don't already have it with you. And this exercise that we're going to do today falls squarely into this bucket of this concept here, growing. We want to grow temporary states and turn them into permanent traits, right? So our brain's plasticity is very much a function of repetitive experiences, and really important that the more embodied and the more we can really feel the experience, so sensorially, emotionally, in addition to the intellectual sort of conceptual side of things, the more our brain, the faster our brain will adapt and say, oh, okay, got it. Like we're doing this a lot. So those temporary states where we just get these glimpses of gratitude, compassion, equanimity, whatever it might be, the more we stimulate that, the more that becomes a permanent fixture in our nervous system. And so today's exercise around gratitude is going to really be in that vein. So the idea is to really intentionally stimulate, when we go through the exercise, as much of a visceral and an embodied experience as possible. So really use your imagination, use your memory to really amplify the experience as much as possible, because that's how you know that you're activating that temporary state as effectively as possible, and then making it sort of installing it, if you will, in your nervous system. Okay, so we're doing gratitude. Quick reminder, what is gratitude? Again, it's this idea of it's an embodied experience, right? So really to emphasize this idea, it's not an intellectual exercise. It's not just sitting down, cranking through a list of things and saying, yeah, I feel grateful for all that. That doesn't really count when it comes to neuroplastic changes. So it's really about an embodied experience that involves a conscious awareness that we have benefited somehow from someone or something that didn't necessarily need to happen, right? So there's an element of luck involved in this. It's like, you have this conscious experience where you feel in your body the sense of gratitude, this very unique experience from a sensory standpoint, where we say, wow, that's amazing that I really, this didn't need to happen. This guy didn't need to change my tire today. And how lucky am I that he was there in the right place, in the right time when I was in need, and he was willing to take that time to do that. That's the feeling of gratitude, right? So today we are going to make a list of a few things, and then I'm going to throw a little twist into this gratitude practice. But let's make the list first. So let's take a minute or so. We're going to write down 6 things, or if you can keep them in your head, that's fine too. So think of a person in your life currently whom you really appreciate. Just one person. Again, don't overthink it. It can just be, a family member, it can be someone you work with, sibling, doesn't matter, but just someone that you really feel a sense of appreciation and gratitude for. Next, identify a physical object that you really appreciate. And I don't want to plant any ideas here, but I just want to also sort of creatively expand, what constitutes a physical object. It could be something creative like a guitar or a musical instrument. It can also be something just really useful and practical, like your car or your computer or your phone. Again, doesn't matter, but just something that you use ideally on a daily basis that you feel grateful for. Third, an activity that you really enjoy. It could be something physical, it could be something intellectual. Again, doesn't matter, but something that you do on a regular basis, where you say, I really love partaking in this activity. Number 4, a favorite place, ideally out in nature. Could be a walk in the woods somewhere or a beach. If it's not out in nature, that's okay. It can also be, your favorite city park or playground that you go to with your kids. Again, doesn't matter, but some place that's outdoors that you look at and say, gosh, I'm really lucky to have this in my life that I can go and be there. Number 5, a food that you really enjoy eating. So it could be a meal that you like to prepare, or maybe it's a meal that someone else makes that you really enjoy eating and you're the beneficiary of. And last but most certainly not least, a quality about yourself that you really appreciate. And on this one, don't grapple too hard. Just find something about yourself and say, yeah, this is a really cool aspect of me that I appreciate. Okay, so hopefully all of you have just a quick list of these 6 people or items or activities. And so now go ahead and close your eyes and let's drop into sort of a bit of a meditative state. Let's start just by grounding, bringing your attention inward, noticing my voice right here, right now. We've all gathered just for a few minutes in this busy day to just slow down, put our feet flat on the ground, and remember that right here, right now is really, at the end of the day, all we've got. This moment right now really constitutes the fullness of our life. And we're choosing to get together, ground ourselves, and take a few moments to stimulate a part of ourselves that we would probably like to have, would like to feel more often and more easily. So noticing the intention of what we're doing right now. If you notice your mind wandering, that's okay. Takes a little bit of time sometimes to ground ourselves and just to become present. And as you're presencing yourself, I'm going to sort of set up this exercise a little bit. Usually when we think of gratitude, we think of people or objects or things from the vantage point of it's sort of a positive or additive thing. I'm lucky that I have this in my life, or I'm looking to make, just like we made here, a list of people or things that I appreciate having in my life. And I want you to now imagine, we're going to go through this list item by item, and I want you to see if you can drop into a place where you imagine the absence of this person or item, and feeling into the absence, noticing its preciousness. So let's start with the person that you listed. So you'd imagine that person and the role that they play in your life, how it feels to be around them, how lucky you are to have them in your life. And just for a moment, as a kind of thought experiment, see if you can imagine what it would be like to not have them in your life. What would that mean? How would that affect you? And the goal here is not to, get glum and sad or have it be a negative experience, but really it's about connecting with the preciousness of this person and how meaningful it is to you to have them in your life, and imagining them not being around, how much that would change your life. And then sort of reconnecting with that sense of gratitude and appreciation and luckiness that they are in fact in your life. And next, sort of bring to mind the physical object that you chose. Notice yourself interacting with this object on a frequent or even daily basis, and how much you benefit from it, whether it makes your life easier or it brings you joy. And again, now just briefly imagine not having this object in your life. What would that be like? Again, just noticing how precious it is to, in fact, have it in your life. Now bring to mind the activity that you really enjoy. Imagining yourself actually engaging in that activity and noticing the appreciation and the gratitude that you have for being able to do this physically, intellectually, whatever the activity is. And again, maybe imagining a time in your life where you may not be able to partake in this activity anymore. Notice how the absence of that activity makes its presence more precious in the here and now. So maybe the next time you engage in that activity, maybe there'll be a heightened sense of gratitude or appreciation for your ability to do this right now. And next, moving on to this place outdoors in nature. Again, imagining yourself or noticing yourself in your memory, engaging with this place, its beauty, the way it makes you feel. Now, just for an instant, imagine that not being accessible to you or not being there for you, and how that would change your life. The good news is you do have this place that you can go to. And so as you reconnect with that awareness, notice what that feels like to realize that you are in fact the beneficiary of having this place that you can go to, that you appreciate. And now moving on to the food that you like to eat. I don't know, maybe it's your favorite food, or maybe there's something about it that, what is it about it that feels good? Or why do you feel appreciation for being able to eat this food? And then again, just as a thought experiment, imagining that was gone, you can no longer have access to it. Or the person who prepares it is no longer there to prepare it for you in that special way. And just notice how much more precious it makes the awareness of having this food in your life at this time. And lastly, a quality about yourself that you appreciate. We're all aging. We're all going to die at some point. And as we age, a lot of our abilities and our capacities begin to fall away or begin to get compromised in some way, shape, or form. So there's something about not taking for granted this aspect of yourself that you appreciate. It won't be there forever. So connecting with, again, the preciousness and the appreciation for knowing that you possess this quality, maybe it motivates you to appreciate it a little bit more, be a little kinder to yourself, express appreciation towards yourself for the good luck or the good fortune or the effort that you put into cultivating that quality. Just looking at the time, we're a little bit over, so I'm going to wrap it up. But I really recommend that you take a look at this list, maybe, throughout the rest of the day, occasionally take a look at it. And there's this, what I introduced today was this angle or this twist of, imagining the absence or the loss of some of these things that are so important to you in your life, how that would affect you. And may that be a catalyst for you to really appreciate what it is that you have. And when you feel that, really drop into it and allow it to wash over you and savor it and really steep yourself in the appreciation of what you do have and how wonderful it is to have these items in your life at this moment. So I hope that was helpful. I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes as always to chat if you want to share, if you want to have any questions. Let me know. Otherwise, I will plan on seeing you tomorrow on Friday at noon, same time, same place.
Thank you, Oli.
Thank you, guys. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Maureen. You guys still around? Maureen, are you still there? I think you're still muted, so I can't hear you. Okay. I think it's just you and me, Brenda. Here, actually, let me stop the recording for a sec. Stop.